Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Parkway Athletics podcast. My name is Jamie Burdish, and today I'm joined by the Parkway West head varsity cheer coach. So, can you first introduce yourself to the viewers, who you are, and a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Kelly Kennedy. This is actually my first year as the West varsity coach. We had an amazing coaching team for many, many years. I know probably close to 8 years, and they both just retired from coaching this year. I was actually the JV coach last year, which was my first year coaching at a Parkway school. I came from another school district. I coached 5 years at another school and then took a few years off. When my children were growing up, I had a child that was playing 3 sports, and so took those years off. And then once he was out of the house, decided that I really missed that role because it's a very different type of a role than being a classroom teacher. So I took on that role, and so this is the first year kind of a transition year of a new coach in the program.
Yeah. So I want to ask you about that passion that you have for coaching. So, what makes this cheer squad and what you do special, and the people that are involved in it? What does this cheer squad mean for themselves and just other organizations and clubs that are a part of Parkway Athletics?
So I have a passion for cheer in general because that was what I was involved with. But I feel like cheerleaders are very unique in that they are, especially our school, because right now we don't currently compete. So we're not a competition squad. So our whole purpose and our whole role is really to support the other athletes, the other teams, the other organizations within our school. So I think that's a very unique aspect, is that we really aren't doing anything solely for ourselves. Everything that we do is to promote school spirit and excitement for West as a whole. And that's very different.
Yeah. So what kind of life lessons do you think people are learning? What kind of goals do you have for the members of the team when you're kind of teaching them? And we talked a little bit before this about not just the skills of doing, I don't know, I don't even know the technical terms, but besides the cheers, what is there that is involved for this squad?
So for me, that is the most important part of being part of a cheer team. I feel that way in my classes as well. My background is business. I was in the business world for 22 years before I became a teacher. And so when I teach what I consider life skills. That's business skills, life skills are all the same to me. And I try to carry that over because I feel like regardless of what kind of team you're on, including cheer, what you learn in working with your teammates and how you learn how to persevere through things that are difficult, the work ethic that you build, communication skills that you build, taking care of each other. In this case with cheerleading, I think it's, again, unique because you're also learning those skills of how to put others before yourself. And sometimes as a teenager, that doesn't always come naturally. And so I feel like my goal for my squad is always, first and foremost, a new squad is to learn how to work with each other. They don't have to be best friends. In fact, it might be kind of weird if all 23 of them were best friends, but they have to learn how to work as a cohesive unit and understand each other's differences, appreciate each other's differences, because in the working world, that's what's going to help them be successful.
Right, exactly. So from your experience, I want to ask, you did cheer when you were growing up and you have been involved with it for a long time. How has that allowed you to, what things have you brought over to this squad that you're teaching them currently?
So from like previous years of coaching?
Yeah, just like your experience over really your whole life. What do you think that's taught you, and how are you giving that to your student athletes?
Really a lot of the things that I just talked about, those life skills. I feel like being part of a cheer squad when I was in high school taught me trust in other people. I happened to be one of the flyers, so I had to learn how to trust that somebody below me wasn't going to drop me on the ground, because honestly, that's a big mental step that you have to take. And so I learned how to trust other people. I learned how to work as a team. I was a captain, so I learned leadership skills. So I carry all of that over into my team with my captains. I really try to take a step back on certain aspects and let them try to lead. So let them lead more of the practices, let them make more of the decisions, because then I'm helping develop leadership skills in them that they can take on beyond high school and beyond cheer.
Right. So is there anything going on right now? I know you said you guys don't compete right now, but what are some of the things that the viewers should know about your cheer squad and just kind of exciting things that they're doing right now to provide that excitement for other sporting events? Because you guys, without cheerleaders, there's not much excitement. I mean, obviously everyone's excited about sports, but you guys add a really big aspect to those sports. So what are some things that Parkway West cheer squad is doing right now?
So we just finished homecoming, and that had been a really big focus. We did some new things with homecoming as far as it's a tradition at I think most of the Parkway schools, but definitely West, that their homecoming pep assembly, the cheerleaders do a routine with senior boys, with a select group of senior boys. And this year we incorporated more cheer into the routine. In past years, it's been more dance, and they've just done a dance. This year we incorporated some stunting. So they actually were stunting, the guys were stunting and doing some things, which was fun because it also gave them kind of an experience that they think is pretty easy. And then they try it and they realize that cheerleading is a lot harder than what they imagined it would be. And so it's always kind of fun to see their eyes light up, and it makes the cheerleaders feel appreciated. So we just finished that. Now we're really working on getting ready for our winter season, primarily basketball, but we're also cheering at the senior nights for, next week we're cheering for soccer senior night. And I know there's not normally cheerleaders at soccer games, but it's a special night. And so we requested permission, and they've done it in the past, to cheer for soccer. And then we have football senior night. We're also doing more as far as like posters around the building, just trying to do some things to really build the spirit in the building now that we're all back in person. And we're planning things for next year. Again, this is a transition year. One, because it's the first time we've been back in the building for a while. And two, it's the first time that I've been leading the program. So we're kind of looking at the future on some of the things that we can do that maybe will be new for West, maybe not new everywhere, but welcoming students into the building on the first day by being in uniform and cheering, and just kind of building that level of excitement in any way we can.
Yeah, that's great. I think you guys are doing some awesome things. We're all excited to see what you're doing. The idea is to kind of promote Parkway West cheer and the athletics around Parkway Athletics. So, last question I have for you, for viewers out there that want to kind of get involved, what should people know? First of all, how can you kind of try out for be a part of this cheer team, and what kind of skills you talked about life skills, but what things can this cheer squad offer people that are
Okay. So as far as tryouts, we don't have a firm date yet. I'm actually working on that this week, but we have tryouts every spring. We have two squads currently. So we have a JV squad and we have a varsity squad. Freshmen are only allowed to make JV. Eventually, I would love to have three squads of freshmen, JV, and varsity. That's really dependent on the football team, on whether we have a consistent freshman football team. Because if we don't, then there's nothing for my freshman cheerleaders to do. We will have those tryouts. You don't have to have cheer experience. You have to be willing to work hard. You have to be willing to learn new things. So we will teach everything that they need to do for tryouts during a tryout clinic for 3 days before the actual tryouts start. And then we have 2 days of tryouts. So it's not a sport where if you've never done it before, you cannot make the team. You absolutely can. And then we have practices in the spring and we have practices in the summer to get ready for football season and when the school starts, because of the fact that we have sometimes cheerleaders that don't have a lot of experience. So we cover all of that. You do not have to know how to stunt. We don't do that in tryouts. We teach them because we want to make sure they're doing it safely. But really, you just have to have a lot of school spirit. You have to be willing to work hard, and you have to be willing to learn.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for allowing me to interview you. I hope that the viewers got a chance to learn about great things that you're doing with the Cheer Squad. And I know it's a new program, but a lot of exciting things to come. So thank you so much. And thank you to the viewers for tuning in. It's going to do it. We'll be back with you
All
guys
right.
very soon with another episode.